Chapter 2: A Guide to Ethereum. In the most basic form, Ethereum is an open-source platform based on blockchain, which provides developers the opportunity to build and deploy decentralized applications. Unlike Bitcoin, it's a decentralized distributed blockchain network, but there are some big differences between the two. The most important difference is in the two networks' function and functionality. Bitcoin provides a different blockchain application, a digital P2P cash system that enables Bitcoin to be charged electronically. This network is used to monitor Bitcoin's ownership, but Ethereum focuses on the code required to run a decentralized application. With the blockchain of the Ethereum, the miners must work to earn Ether, or ETH, instead of Bitcoin. Although this is a form of digital currency rather than being invested in the same way that we can buy with Bitcoin, ETH is the fuel to run the Ethereum network. It can be merchandised but is largely used on the Ethereum network by the application developers to pay for the facilities and the business fees. Smart contracts. In a later chapter, I'll show you how to create a smart contract, but for now, we'll just look at what they are and what they can be used to. A smart contract is a part of a computer code which provides instructions for the execution of a contract or exchange of interest under certain conditions. Since these contracts are scheduled to run on the blockchain, they behave exactly as they should and operate exactly when they are scheduled to do so, without intervention from third parties and without the possibility of hacking or downtime. That's where Ethereum differs. They can build the operations they want to use instead of curtailing developers by an operating cap. This means thousands of applications have the potential to go beyond anything ever seen before. The virtual machine. Until Ethereum came into being the virtual machine, blockchain systems could be designed solely to do specific stuff. The cryptocurrencies were intended to do one thing: operate as digital currencies of P2P, nothing more. It posed a problem for developers. Either they had to expand the range of functions these cryptocurrencies might perform, which would be difficult and take more of their time, or they could come up with another sort of blockchain-based platform and device. Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin has come up with an innovative approach. Ethereum's core innovation is the virtual machine, EVM, or Ethereum. It is a Turing-complete software operating on the Ethereum network, which allows anyone to run any program they want, regardless of the programming language in which it was written in, provided enough memory and time. The EVM simplifies the creation process for blockchain-based applications and makes them all more efficient. Rather than building a new blockchain for each application, the EVM lets you build thousands of different apps on a single platform. What is Ethereum usable for? Ethereum is primarily designed to developers to build on and deploy their decentralized applications. Such software, commonly known as dApps, must serve a specific purpose. For example, Bitcoin is a dApp which provides the P2P digital cash system. Because those applications consist of code running on the blockchain, they are not regulated by any person or entity. Think of all the numerous intermediary facilities that are used across all the various companies. From banks to another service that we seldom give a second thought to, such as regulatory compliance. From banks to other services that we seldomly give a second thought to, such as regulatory compliance, voting systems, etc. It can easily be decentralized with Ethereum if the service is centralized. We can also use Ethereum to build DAOs, autonomous decentralized organizations. These are decentralized, fully autonomous entities with no chief. They are run purely by programming code, smart contracts written on Ethereum. This code replaces a typical organization structure and rules, and removes the need for centralized control and for citizens. DAO is held by those who buy ETH tokens, but instead have voting rights for the token owner, rather than the tokens serving as equity shares or ownership. Benefits of Ethereum. Because all of these decentralized applications are running on the blockchain, they all benefit from the properties of the blockchain. Immutable, no changes can be made to any data by a third party. Tamper-proof and corruption-free. The system on which the applications are designed is based on the principle of consensus, rendering censorship virtually impossible. Safe. There is no single point of failure, and all applications and transactions are secured with cryptography, giving them durable safety against fraud and hacking. No downtime. The blockchain will not go down, so the apps will also not go down, and they are never switched off. The downside to decentralized applications. Although the decentralized applications arises with a load of benefits, there are no completely without fault. The code for smart contracts is written by humans and is only as good as the person who writes them. Any oversights, code glitches, or mere human error can lead to things that weren't meant to happen, and if a mistake is manipulated, there's simply no effective way to stop it. The only solution would be to get network consensus and rewrite the underlying code. That's not what the blockchain is all about, because it's supposed to be immutable, and any activity a central party does will raise questions about the application's apparent decentralized nature. How do I develop an app to access Ethereum? There are many ways to link yourself into the Ethereum network, but using the native Mist browser is by far the best and easiest way. Mist is user-friendly and offers a digital wallet for storing and trading ETH tokens. I'll show you how to set up a Mist wallet later on. Mist also lets you write and manage smart contracts, deploy them, and use them. Like a normal web browser, it offers access to the net and lets you navigate it, so Mist is a gateway to the world of decentralized blockchain devices. You may also use MetaMask, a browser extension. This turns Google Chrome into an Ethereum browser and allows anybody to build or run a web decentralized device. Although it was first developed as a Chrome plugin, it will provide support to Firefox and other platforms in time as well. It is in its initial days, but Mist and MetaMask are starting to give us more access to decentralized software, not to mention other browsers. Even if you don't come from a technical background, you still can create your decentralized application, a radical leap that could firmly carry the dApp into the mainstream. What dApps are being developed now? Ethereum is currently being used as a forum for applications that cover a wide variety of sectors and various services. That's uncharted territory for developers though, so at this point, it's hard to know what's going to happen and won't be a success. Some of the more exciting projects are: YFund provides an open source framework for smart contract crowdfunding. The platform helps to transform contributions into digital assets, backed up by a contract that can be merchandised, used or sold on the Ethereum platform. Uport provides users with a convenient and secure way to take control of their personal information and identity. Instead of relying on government departments and giving up their identity to intermediaries, consumers have full control over who can see their information and data being used in the commercial. Block Apps seeks to give companies a simpler way to build and operate blockchain apps. All the required tools are given, from concept proof to legacy system integration and complete development for industry-specific, private, or public blockchain applications. Provenance. Using Ethereum to make supply chains a little more transparent, these allow a product origin to be traced and a full history of it, giving customers more transparent and easily accessible knowledge system on which to base their purchasing decisions. Augur, a market platform for prediction and forecasting, enabling people to forecast events and reward them for predicting correctly. Any predictions made about real-world events are made through the trading of virtual shares, and if a person who wins a prediction buys shares, they are given a monetary reward, the Dao Hack. We know Ethereum is a platform to build decentralized autonomous apps, but something went very wrong in 2016. They hacked a startup community that was working on a project called the DAO. A team called Lockit was designing this project with the goal of producing a venture capital firm that would not need human staffs. People would be able to make their own decisions using smart contracts. The DAO received funding from thousands of sources through the selling of ETH tokens and raised about $150 million. Soon after that money had been earned, an anonymous intruder struck and stole about 50 million of ETH. This attack occurred through a single flaw in the DAO software, not the Ethereum platform, but it left the founders and Ethereum developers having to clean up the mess. There was much discussion, and a vote was held by the entire Ethereum community. The result was to retrieve funds via a hard fork or by changing the code. The fork relocated the embezzled money into a new smart contract, one which enabled the original owners to get their ETH tokens. At this stage, things got a little complicated with the implications proving somewhat controversial. That is why it happened here. Ethereum is based on blockchain technology, which is not intended to be reversible. Transactions are not supposed to be changeable. The verdict to execute the hard fork, efficiently disregarding all the rules that dictate how a blockchain executes, has resulted in setting a very dangerous precedent, one that goes against the blockchain's reason. If the blockchain were to alter whenever a large amount of ETH was involved, or a large group of investors is negatively impacted, the blockchain might lose the value proposition that supports it, the value of being stable, unchangeable, deceptive, and anonymous. A somewhat less violent approach has been suggested, but the founders of the Ethereum and the project as a whole have been placed in a dodgy situation. If the stolen funds were not recovered, trust in the platform would plummet. On the other hand, retrieving the money would entail acts which would go against the platform's value propositions and set an incredibly dangerous precedent. A majority vote was in favor of the hard work, but the result was a split of two blockchains running parallel to each other, as not everyone agreed. Ethereum Classic is for those creditors who disagree with changes made to the ledger, even in the case of theft, while Ethereum remains for those who have decided to rewrite a bit of the code and recover the funds stolen. Ethereum's future. Despite all of this, Ethereum is still moving forward and the future is looking very bright. The app is very friendly and it provides people the opportunity to use the blockchain's power to promote decentralized across the global economy. These decentralized applications have huge potential to cause hundreds of different industries to suffer huge disruption. Most of the bigger companies will be using private blockchains to manage their business processes. Private blockchain. Some of the major companies will use private registered blockchains to handle some of their business processes within the next couple of years, giving employees, service providers, suppliers, and consumers access to the business blockchain via cryptographically encrypted transactions. Blockchain consortia. Consortia blockchains will be on the rise within the next couple of years, partnering with counterparties on cases of use that will allow the exchange of trusted source of truth information, supply and network chains. Public blockchain. Business use-some companies are expected to use the public Ethereum platform to use cases within the same blockchain components that they use on their private blockchain implementations. The Ethereum platform is also beginning to change the way we use the internet. dApps are calling for a transition from the internet of data that we are all used to using for accessing and exchanging information to an internet of value, where immediate value can be exchanged without intermediaries required. It's still in its early days, and there's a lot of work to be done, but there's no question that Ethereum will be one of the most innovative networks, and we're waiting for exciting times.